everybody. Welcome to Fiber at 4. This is Christiana coming to you live from the Longmont Yarn Shop. Sorry, running just a couple minutes behind. That's totally on me. So let's get started. As most of you know, if you live in the Longmont area, school started on Wednesday. So I thought to kind of coincide with that, let's talk about back to school for those of us who are crafters. So what I'm going to show you tonight is just a mere sampling of the classes that we are offering. So what I want to show you all tonight are the projects and some supplies that you can use to make said projects. So my first class that I am going to visit tonight is actually a Fiber Friday class that we have coming up September 2nd, which, believe it or not, is not that far away. What is that, like 2 weeks away? Week and a half? Something like that. So this is the Ladder Back Jacquard class with Jennifer Miller, and this class is going to be via Zoom, and that would be this project right here. So this is called the Into the Winter hat. This is the project that Jennifer's going to be teaching. Hey, Mom. And you might be saying, okay, it's a colorwork hat, it's cute. Well, what the class is about is how to deal with the floats on the inside so that they're a little prettier and less likely to catch on jewelry, on little fingers. So that is the Ladder Back Jacquard class with Jennifer Miller. That is going to be via Zoom, and it is September 2nd at 4 p.m., so that is a Fiber Friday class. Hey Jody, thanks for joining us. So this particular pattern that Jennifer is using calls for worsted weight. So I picked some worsted weight that I think would make a fantastic hat. So I'm starting with Soft by Studio Donegal. This is a thicker worsted. It's probably leaning a little bit more towards the Aran side of worsted, but it is $21.99 per hank. And there are approximately 210 yards here. You would need just one of each color for this hat, and you'd probably have quite a bit left over. But, this is hand wash only. This stuff will felt if you put it in the washing machine. So this particular color is called Donegal Sky, which I think fits because it's a Donegal yarn from Donegal, Ireland. And I thought this would pair very lovely with snow. So you can kind of see where I'm going here, and you can totally reverse the colors, make the cap blue and the bottom the white. But I thought those two would look lovely in this pattern. And of course, with it being me, we can't do this without looking at a little bit of purple. So this color, you're gonna laugh, this color is called Bar Fight because it is black and blue and purple. So Marianne's laughing at me.
Well, Christiana, you know a lot about bar fights.
No. So I think this one might be priced wrong. How about that? So this is Bar Fight, and I thought it would pair really, really well with Rocky Paths. Even maybe a lighter gray would look good with that. The snow would look good with it too. So that is the Soft by Studio Donegal, and it has this lovely tweed to it. And some of the colors, the tweed is a little more understated, like the snow. You probably could barely see that on your computer. But the Bar Fight, ha 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 ha, I can hear you laughing at me. This has a purple base, but it's got some really lovely bright colored tweeds in there. There's some magentas and blues, which is why I think this is such an awesome color, because it has that really deep purple background with all those splashes of color in the front foreground. So I think where you can really see the tweed is on Rocky Paths. And even then, it's tweed that kind of mixes in well with the color of the yarn. So again, that is Soft by Studio Donegal, $21.99 per hank. Hand wash only on this stuff, and 190 meters, 210 yards. And you would need just one of each for the Ladder Back Jacquard hat. Of course, too, one of my absolute favorite yarns to use for color work, such as this hat, is Moonshine. Moonshine is an alpaca wool silk blend, so it is untreated. It's going to stick to itself really, really nicely when you're changing those colors. And there are 197 yards in this skein. It is single ply, and I love, love, love this yarn for color work. I have used it for sweaters. It knits and crochets up beautifully. It's really, really soft, and honestly, I cannot recommend this yarn enough. This is one of my absolute favorite yarns. So it is $24.99, again, worsted weight, 197 yards. So I only have color numbers on the yarn band, so I'm going to just take a guess at the color names. So this is color 04, which I want to say is sage, but I'm probably wrong on that. And color 65, I'm not even going to venture a guess on that guy, but it's a nice silvery green, and this guy is a nice creamy color. I think these two would look absolutely lovely in this hat. Now, if you notice, I'm trying to be better about steering away from the purple a little bit, but not all that much better. I think this is called amethyst. This is color number 69, and this is color 16, which I forget what the name of that color is. But again, for this hat, you want two contrasting colors. So you want stuff that is not going to blend together. So the purple and the charcoal gray and the green and the cream would work really, really well for that hat. So I think I did neglect to mention you do need contrasting colors for this hat. And yes, I know you can't go wrong with purple. So this hat also takes a size 16, or excuse me, a 16-inch size 8 knitting needle, circular, which you can get in the patina, which is the bamboo, or the steel. So the steel needle is $14.99 and the bamboo is $10.99. And you know, I know I've addressed this before, but we get asked a lot which needle is better, the metal or the wood. Honestly, it is personal preference. The wood works great with your slicker yarns. Hey Lynn, thanks for joining us. So the wood works great for your slicker yarns like your bamboos or silks. The metal works great with the yarns that are going to be a little more sticky, like your untreated wools. But truth be told, the chaboo needles, they're not really slick for metal needles, so you can use them with just about any fiber. So again, it is totally personal preference. Can't go wrong with either. Chaboo makes a wonderful needle. So I am a big fan of the steel because I'm using a lot of smaller yarns, like fingering weight yarns. So I really appreciate the super sharp tips on the steel. I like metal better. Hey, thanks, Lynn. You know what? Why don't you guys just throw into the chat line which you prefer and why? So it would be nice to get a conversation going so we can kind of compare notes on everything. So again, the ladder back jacquard hat takes a size 8 16-inch needle. All right. My next class, unfortunately, I do not have a sample on hand, but it has been in the shop before, and it's, of course, the Snowflake Girl Cowl that Cheryl uses for her double knitting class. So for those of you interested in double knitting, this will be an in-person class. It is October 18th, 25th, and November 1st. These double knitting classes fill up really, really, really fast. So if you are interested in double knitting, I would say jump into that class right now. Hi, Nancy. Hey, Gloria. Jody prefers metal for everything. For those of you just joining us, we're kind of just throwing out there in the chat line which knitting needle you prefer, whether it's the bamboo or steel. Just trying to open a dialogue to see what everybody's opinions are. If you want to join and tell me which you'd like and why, that would be fantastic. And thank you so much, Lynn, for jumping in on that. I appreciate that. So the double knitting class is a snowflake. The pattern's called Snowflake Girl, and it is a cowl, so it is reversible. So let's say your main color is a dark color and your snowflakes are a light color on one side. It is going to be the reverse on the other side. So again, I cannot emphasize this enough. Cheryl's double knitting class fills up really, really fast. So the Snowflake Girl Cowl uses a size 3 24-inch circular needles. So again, got it in the metal, which is $13.99, and the bamboo, which is $9.99. So those are our Chow-Goo needles that we need for that class. And it uses a fingering weight yarn. And what Cheryl has suggested is, Cheryl has a great list of suggested yarns on the class description. So if you're interested in taking the class, I would recommend looking at that. But what I have pulled are a couple of her preferred yarns. So I've got with me here Malabrigo Sock. Malabrigo Sock is 100% superwash wool. There's 440 yards in these guys. And forgive me, Cheryl, I forgot to check the yardage on the project, but I want to say you would only need one of each color. So again, you need something really contrasting. I use metal for most things. Okay, yeah, metal seems to be a preferred material right now. So hey, any of you guys who like your bamboo needles, jump in and tell us why. So again, for the double knitting class, you do want 2 contrasting colors. So for some examples, I pulled out the Malabrigo Natural, and these are $22.99 per hank. And I thought this would be totally wild, oh my goodness. This is Parade, and this is one of my absolute favorite Malabrigo sock yarns, colors. I love anything they do with a speckle. So these 2 are definitely contrasting, so this would work wonderfully for the double knitting class. So if you're not quite into the wild colors like I am, this guy's called Wales Road, and then this one I want to say is Polar Morn. Yes, it is. So Wales Road is a bluey purple color, and then Polar Morn is, this batch actually turned out kind of gray, but Polar Morn can vary from grayish blue to almost 100% gray with like a blue undertone to it. So those are definitely contrasting, but they're coordinating, so they would look great for that cowl. So again, that is Malabrigo Sock, and I'm actually working with this right now for a shop sample, and I love this yarn. Not these colors, I'm not working with these colors, but I am working with this yarn. So it's $22.99 for 100% superwash wool, and there are 440 yards per hank. Another one of Cheryl's recommended yarns is Apothecary, and Apothecary is actually what Cheryl used for her Snowflake Girl cowl. So this is the Merino silk yarn. This is, again, fingering weight. It is 70% Merino, 30% silk. It is $38 per hank, and there are 436 yards in these guys. We only have a handful of colors on the wall right now, but we are expecting more in September. So to pick some coordinating colors, I went to a different yarn. Cheryl doesn't have this on the class description, but it will work very, very nicely, and that is the Monostil Uruguay Fino. I thought these 2 would go lovely together. They're both single ply. The fiber blend is fairly similar. Actually, it's 100% the same. Both 70-30 merino silk. And so this color is called Belladonna, and I thought the cream Fino, this is called Ivory Letter Opener. Love these names. Those are definitely contrasting right there. So the Fino is $35.99 per hank, and the Apothecary is $38 per hank. I pulled over a couple more colors. So this guy is called Garden Party, and I love this. I love the color combination. It's very springy, because we are approaching winter here, because Colorado, we don't typically have fall. We go summer straight into winter. All beautiful yarn. Thank you, Lynn. So this is called, the color is called Garden Party, and I pulled this color. This is called Crystal Goblet Fino. And I think those 2 would look absolutely lovely together. Not exactly snowflake colors, but I do like the way they look together. So this, again, Apothecary and Fino, both are fingering weight yarns. They're both 70% wool, both 30% silk. Do not put this stuff in the washing machine, it's gonna felt. And I wouldn't put silk in the washing machine anyway. So the Apothecary is 436 yards, $38, and the Fino is 490 yards, and it is $35.99. Alrighty. The next class I want to talk about, oops, I got my product out of order here. Here we go. I don't have a sample for this class either, but I'm really excited about this one. It's the double heddle dish towels on the rigid heddle, and I'm going to step back just for a second. I'm going to remind you all that Cheryl's double knitting class is October 18th and 25th and November 1st, all at 6 o'clock. So the double heddle dish towels on the rigid heddle is September 8th, 15th, and 22nd, which, oh my gosh, that's like 2 weeks away. They all meet at September 8th and 15th. It meets at 10 o'clock in the morning, and then the 22nd, it will meet at 10:30. And this class is utilizing a double heddle method on the rigid heddle. I believe you cannot use a cricket for this, but you can use a flip, and correct me if I'm wrong. So the recommended yarn that Sarah, who's teaching the class, suggested for this is the Vene 82 Organic Cotton, and I pulled over some fun colors. I believe it's using at least 2, maybe 3 colors. So of course I pulled over a couple neutrals. So I've got black and light stone gray. So these guys are $14.99 per spool. And trying to find the yardage on here. 710 yards. So I've got 2 neutrals, which would work great for your warp or your weft, depending on how if you like neutrals. But then we've also got some super bright colors too. We've got purple. Imagine that. So this color is actually called purple. And then this guy is called Kentucky Blue. And I love those rich, deep jewel tones, and that would look great with the gray or the black. And of course, this is just a small sampling of the colors we have. We have yellows, reds, we have great fall colors or holiday colors, depending on what you're weaving for. Or if you're just weaving for a crazy purple person, this looks great too. So,
Do we know any crazy purple people?
I don't know any crazy purple people. So, the Vene 82 Organic Cotton, and I actually did a little research about what the numbers mean, because I had heard it one time but completely forgot what they meant. So one of the weaving magazines, I want to say it's Hand Woven, has a great article about the numbers before the yarn name. So 82 Organic Cotton, the top number is the size of the yarn. So as the numbers get larger, the thickness of the yarn gets smaller. So if you find a yarn that has like a 1 or a 2 as the top number, because it's printed like a fraction, so you've got the denominator and numerator. So the top number is the size of the yarn. So this is an 8-2, so it's going to be pretty skinny. If you find a yarn that has a 1 or a 2 as the top number, it's going to be a thicker yarn. So that's of course going to affect what size heddle you use. And the bottom number, which in this case is a 2, is the number of plies. So this is a size 8 yarn with 2 plies to it. So that is what the 8-2 means. So again, this is the recommended yarn for the double heddle dish towels on the rigid heddle is the Vene 82 Organic Cotton Hand Woven. Thank you. Which issue is that?
January, February 2022.
Okay, January, February 2022. They're hand woven. There is an article about the sizing of yarns. Okay, again, Vene 82 Organic Cotton, $14.99 per spool, and there are 710 yards on the spools. All right. So the next class I'm really excited about because we have not had a Tunisian crochet class in a while. So Teresa is going to be teaching the Loveland Shawl. We don't have a shop sample, so I brought mine in. And Stephen West is a little off camera right now, so let's fix that. There's Stephen West. Oh, hey, Allie. So the Loveland Shawl is Tunisian crochet. For those of you just joining us, we do have a discussion going on in the chat line about metal versus bamboo or wooden knitting needles, what your preference is and why. And we're getting a lot of people on Team Metal. So just feel free at any time to join in and references and why. So the Loveland Shawl is Tunisian Crochet. This is kind of a beginner piece. You need to know crochet in order to be in this class. Teresa recommends that you know the chain and single crochet, and then the rest of the class they will teach you how to do the other stitches. So you've got kind of a meshy stitch here, and then this is the Tunisian knit stitch, and then the Tunisian purl stitch. So Teresa will teach you all three of those stitches. This is a DK weight yarn, and Teresa has some fantastic suggestions on the website. So this class uses a size K Tunisian hook, and she says that a 24-inch cable is your best bet for this, because as you can see, it gets pretty big. So we've got the Knitter's Pride Dreams Tunisian crochet hooks, and the Knitter's Pride cords, and these cords do come with end caps. So you would hook one end up to the crochet hook and then cap the other end so your stitches don't fall off. The Loveland Shawl, sorry, I forgot to mention, it meets September 28th and October 12th and 26th, all at 6 p.m. So, and it does take a K size hook with a 24-inch cord. And just as an FYI, Teresa's going to be teaching the DK weight version of this, but once you figure out how you like it, there is a fingering weight version, but the class is specifically for DK. Allie uses both 50-50. Yeah, you know what, honestly, I do too, depending on the project. I'm kind of in my metal knitting needle phase right now, so... But again, the bamboo or wooden needles work great with yarn that's a little more slick, that may be a little more slippery on those metal needles. But I digress. So, beautiful shawl. I prefer to knit than crochet unless I'm making baby blankets. You know what? I do both, and I've been asked countless times which you prefer, knitting or crocheting. Depends on my mood. There are some days I'm ready to chuck my crocheting out the window and all I want to do is knit. Then there are other days where I'm ready to throw my knitting away and all I want to do is crochet. So depends on the day, depends on my mood. But I love them both. So, and that's why Tunisian crochet is so great for people like me, because it combines the two of them. So Teresa suggests for the Loveland Shawl, got a couple of her yarns, recommended yarns here. The first is Dos Tijeras, and this is a Malabrigo yarn. And I bet you're noticing a theme here. We love our Malabrigo yarn in this shop. So Dos Tijeras is a blend, 50% merino wool, 50% baby alpaca. You do not want to put this in the washing machine. This is hand wash only, people. So there are 210 yards in this, and it's $21.95. And I believe you need 2 skeins of the main color and 1 of the contrast color. So I pulled a couple of color combinations here that I think the Loveland Shawl would look great out of. So this guy is Wales Road, and if that sounds familiar, that's also the fingering weight one that I pulled. But if you notice, there is a slight difference in the color there. So sometimes the yarn takes the color a little bit differently. This is definitely more saturated, whereas the fingering weight's a little bit on the light side. So there's Wales Road, and I thought Wales Road would look great with Alice. So Alice is kind of similar to Polar Morn in that it is a grayish blue, but it's darker than Polar Morn. And this batch turned out a bit bluer. So really like those two together. And of course we had to have a purple in there. I mean, my goodness. So this one, I love this one. This is called Ursula. For those of us who love our Disney bad guys, this is a great color. And I matched this up with Pearl. So you've got 2 very, very contrasting colors there. And truthfully, what I would do if I were making the Loveland Shawl again, I would make this my main color and this my contrast. But that's just me. You can definitely do it the other way around. So that, again, is Dos Tijeras by Malabrigo, which we just got a whole bunch of this in. It is $21.95 for 210 yards, and it is 50% merino and 50% alpaca. Oh, thank you, Allie. This is by Toni Lipsey, and for all you crocheters out there, if you have not checked out her website, her Ravelry page, or her YouTube channel, I highly, highly recommend it. Toni is an amazing designer, an amazing teacher, and just an all-around awesome person. I absolutely adore her. So, Toni Lipsey, and her last name is spelled Lipsey. So another one of Teresa's suggested yarns is Cosette by Dream in Color. So again, we're still in the DK weight yarn here. Cosette is $37.99 per hank, and this is a blend of superwash merino wool, cashmere, and nylon. So that man-made fiber in there really helps the project, as I call it, hold its structural integrity. And it is super squishy and super soft. I knit a store sample out of Cosette, and it is a wonderful yarn to work with. And I think I also neglected to mention all the products I'm showing to you tonight are on the Fiber at 4 shopping page on the website. All the classes are also listed on the website too. The classes are, the website is the most up-to-date information on the class list. We do have some paper copies here at the shop, but I would reference back to the website because we are always updating and always adding classes, so be sure to check that out. So this color here is called Fable, and I thought the Fable would look great with, this is called Scorched Lime. So I thought those two would look absolutely fantastic together, and in this case, I think I'd go with the lighter color as my main color and the darker as my contrast. But again, personal preference, you can do the darker color as the main color and the lighter color as the contrast. So the next color combination I have to show you, Teresa's teaching the class, and I know how much Teresa loves her pinks. So as a salute to my buddy Teresa, I pulled some pinks to show you guys. So this color is called Tucson, and this is a super fun color. It's got grays and blacks and kind of a creamy white as the base, but it's got all these speckles of pinks and magentas and blues and yellows and even a tiny bit of green in there. Aren't they gorgeous, Gloria? Yes, these colors are wonderful. And this guy's called Pinky. I thought that was cute. But these two look so wonderful together. This pinky pulls out that pink in the Tucson. And, you know, in this case, if I were to use these colors for the Loveland Shawl, I'd probably go pinky as my main color and Tucson as my contrast, just to, I feel if you use this as the contrast color, it would really highlight all those amazing colors in this skein. Cosette is stunning, Allie. It is one of my favorite yarns to work with. Dream in Color is, pardon the pun, a dream to work with. It's great, great yarn. Yeah, Marianne's groaning at me. But it really is a dream to work with. It's great yarn. We've got it in, we've got Suzette, which is the sport weight, Cosette, which is the DK weight, and Classy with Cashmere, which is the worsted weight. And spoiler alert, we are going to be getting some Dream in Color fingering weight probably in the next month, so keep your eyes open for that. Just in time for Breast Cancer Awareness Month in October. Exactly, this is a great breast cancer awareness color. Thank you for bringing that up, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Karen. So again, that is the Dream in Color Cosette. This is $37.99 per hank. You've got 270 yards here, and it's a blend, 70% merino, superwash merino, 20% cashmere, 10% nylon. I know it says superwash wool, but honestly, I would not put this in the washing machine. In fact, they recommend that you hand wash this yarn. So those are some great options for the Loveland Shawl. And again, the Loveland Shawl is a Tunisian Crochet class, and it will be meeting September 28th, October 12th, October 26th, all at 6 p.m. So the last class I have to tell you guys about tonight, this one, y'all, this class sells out, it fills up really, really, really fast. In fact, the next offering of this class that we have in September is completely sold out. So the next meeting of this particular class is November 3rd, 17th, and 24th at 5 o'clock And so what class am I talking about? I'm talking about Spinning 101. So Spinning 101 introduces you to spinning yarn. You start out on the drop spindle, and then you get a little experience using a full spinning wheel. And Stephanie is the instructor, and she is great. She's an amazing spinner, amazing weaver, all around great person. So trust me, you're going to have a lot of fun in that class. So one of her recommended fibers, right off camera here for a second, is the Wabi Sabi. And of course, this is from Gail's sister's Alpaca wrench. This particular one that I've got right here, this is called X-Man. Now, all of the fibers are named after the animals that they come from. So this comes from X-Man. And this is a 70-30 Alpaca Tencel blend, and it is super squishy, super yummy, and I just kind of want to curl up and take a nap on this. It is so wonderful. So this is approximately a 4-ounce braid, and it is $32, and again, you know, it is a local product. And this color, I was drawn to this. I love my grays. This is Dante. And Dante is beautiful. Dante is actually a llama bamboo mix. So 70-30, and it's this wonderful heathered gray in there. Tiny bit of a tan undertone to it. It's absolutely beautiful. This braid is also $32, and again, approximately 4 ounces. So this fiber isn't on Stephanie's suggested fiber list, but I've talked to people who've had great success with this fiber, and that is the Merino Tops by Manos del Uruguay. So this is 100% superwash merino, and it's 100 grams, but I want to say weight-wise, other ounce-wise, it's probably about 4 ounces, same as the Wabi Sabi. And of course, it's a 100% merino, and I love this color. It's called Jelly Bean. I love jelly beans. And this color is called Fondo del Mar. And this is for those of you who love your more deeper saturated colors. Isn't that beautiful? And this, of course, is only 2 of the flavors that we have of this particular fiber. It does come packaged in the plastic. Pretty much any of our roving will work for Spinning 101. I've been told to kind of avoid the Apothecary blends because it has a different staple length, but anything else on our spinning rack will work. So again, that is the Merino Tops by Manos del Uruguay, and it's 100% superwash merino, 100-gram braid, and these are $27. And again, Spinning 101 fills up really, really, really fast. So that is all the product I have to show you guys tonight, but I do have some examples behind me of the classes that are going to be offered, so I'm going to move Stephen West out of the way a little bit. So we've got the Cascading Falls Cowl, which I am teaching. That is crocheted, and in 2 hours you will have this cowl. This is Jennifer Steinglass sweater. Christy will be teaching this particular class. I love that sweater. It's so pretty. And I think I'm safe in saying that Cheryl is our color work goddess when it comes to knitting. She's going to be teaching the Fair Isle gift bag, so that will be closer to gift giving time in the winter time. And she's also teaching stranded knitting class, which you can do a hat or a cowl or both. This is my corner-to-corner snowman scarf, which I'm really excited about. I think he's so cute. And then this is Cheryl's Cocoa Knits Workshop. So all of these classes, again, are going to be on the website. They are all up and ready for you to look at. And again, keep watching the website because we're always adding. And if you have a suggestion or anything that you think would make a great class, we're totally open to suggestions. So let us know. And love the sweater. These are 2 absolutely stunning sweaters. So yeah, let us know if you have any suggestions for any classes or any techniques that you want to learn. And of course, if you're in the Longmont older area, we do offer private lessons if there's something specific you want to work on and you don't necessarily want to be in a classroom environment. We do offer private lessons as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope you had fun. I hope that you take a bunch of classes and really expand your crafting tool belt. And we will see you next Sunday. Have a lovely rest of your Sunday. And thanks for all the hearts floating up the screen. I really appreciate it. Bye.